What's going on YouTube? This is Austin here from Austin and Dakota coming at you again with another video for you guys tonight. And tonight, I thought I would do, for you guys, since I'm huge on death metal, I thought I would do my top 5 favorite sophomore death metal albums. Now what I mean by sophomore is, this is their second album, and it's their second album in their whole discography, after their debut album, obviously. So I have 5 here. I picked 5. I was tempted to do 10. I could do 10 next video, but I think 5 will be just as good. So I want to go ahead and jump right into it. Number 5, I'm going to go with an album by Morbid Angel, and I'm going to go with at number 5, Blessed Are the Sick. Just finished listening to this album a few minutes ago. Excuse me. Gotta say, absolutely top tier stuff here from Morbid Angel. It's really evil, very dark sounding. I love the vocals on it, the riffs, everything about the album is fantastic. I love the whole theme about it, it's great. My favorite tracks off the album are Day of Suffering, the self-titled track, Leading the Rats, which is the B-side to Blessed Are the Sick, and The Ancient Ones, the closer. So, really good stuff right there. So, that's my number 5, Blessed Are the Sick. Number 4, I am going to go with Butchered at Birth by Cannibal Corpse, also released in 1991. Yes, my favorite death metal band of all time. And in my opinion, Butchered at Birth is when Chris Barnes' vocals went down for that more growly, kind of deep, guttural sounding approach. While Eaten Back to Life was kind of more along the lines of not really deep, but kind of middle of the road, kind of deep. But this album, I thought Chris Barnes' vocals improved a lot, and in my opinion, it's their most kind of dark sounding album. And then afterwards, after this album, we'd obviously get the legendary Tomb of the Mutilated. Good stuff on there. My favorite tracks off the album, obviously Covered with Sores. I love the long instrumental at the beginning of the track. Then you get to Chris Barnes' part, those deep guttural vocals coming in, and then he speeds it up a little bit, and it leads into a very head-banging intro, or a head-banging instrumental, very cool. My other 2 favorite tracks on there are Gutted and Vomit the Soul. Both those songs are really good. The whole album as a whole is amazing, so definitely check it out. Number 3, this was neck and neck between my number 3, between this one and my number 2. This was neck and neck. Number 3 for me, I'm going to go with the 1990 Obituary album, and that would be obviously the legendary album, Cause of Death. Cause of Death, a classic album by Obituary. I've been trying to find the album actually for quite a while. I haven't been able to find it anywhere. To me, Slowly We Rot and Cause of Death are the 2 albums by Obituary that you need to have as soon as you can. Because in my opinion, I think Obituary is a legendary death metal band. If it wasn't for them, death metal as we know it probably wouldn't even exist. If it wasn't for Obituary and Cannibal Corpse and Possessed and Death and all that. I just think this is their best album overall. I love the riffs on here. The vocals by John Tardy himself. Absolutely stellar. Especially on my 3 favorite songs off that album, Chopped in Half, Circle of the Tyrants, and Dying. Though the vocal work on those songs and the whole album just really makes the album pop off, in my personal opinion. So that's my number 3, Cause of Death. Number 2, I actually own this album. Surprise, surprise. I own this album from this band. One of my all-time favorite death metal bands right now. As of right now, they're one of my favorites. And at number 2, this was really close. I put at number 2, Deicide. I'm trying to not get a glare here. Deicide with their Legion album, 1992. Absolutely incredible stuff from these guys. Their lineup consisted of Glenn Benton, Eric Hoffman, Craig Hoffman, Steve Asheim on drums, Steve Asheim is a legend. Is like a machine on the drums. with Deicide. They've switched up a bunch of different members. I heard that Glenn Benton and the Hoffman brothers kind of had a falling out. Very unfortunate, because those guys are just absolute machines on guitar. Obviously, this was probably, in my opinion, their best lineup. Glenn Benton doing bass and vocals, love it. The Hoffman brothers on guitar, Steve Asheim on drums. In my opinion, this album and their self-titled album is some of the most evil-sounding, devilish-sounding, devil-worship-sounding death metal that you can ask for. Absolutely love this album. My 3 favorite tracks off the album are Dead But Dreaming, Trifiction, and In Hell I Burn. It was a toss-up between Trifiction and Repent to Die, which was going to make the list. But my 3 favorite tracks obviously are Dead But Dreaming, Trifiction, and In Hell I Burn. So that's my number 2, Deicide's Legion. Classic. Now for my number 1. This one actually is going to take you guys by surprise. Now everyone's taste is different, obviously, for many reasons. But number 1, for my favorite sophomore death metal album, I am going to go with the 1988 Death album, and that would obviously be Leprosy. Leprosy is my number 1. All killer, no filler, in my opinion. I love Chuck Schuldner's vocals on it. The riffs, the drum work, absolutely stellar on this album. I really want to get my hands on it because it's probably my favorite Death album. I think Death's material, in my opinion, is so flawless. I don't think they put out one single bad album. From Scream Bloody Gore, that came out in 1987, up until their last album, The Sound of Perseverance, that came out in 1998. Death are really the true pioneers of death metal, but if you saw my ABCs of death metal video, I said that Possessed was technically the first band to, like, bring death metal to metal, but to me, Death is one of those bands that really gave death metal the true definition of death metal. Absolutely love this album. I love it. The riffs, the drumming, the vocals by Chuck Schuldner, absolutely amazing. My 3 favorite tracks off the album are Pull the Plug, Leprosy, the self-titled track, and my other one is a 2-way tie between Left to Die and Open Casket. Great stuff by Death. Definitely check them out if you haven't already. Really good stuff. So that is it. That is my top 5 favorite sophomore death metal albums. Thank you guys for watching. Next video, I will continue my ABCs of death metal. We're going to go from K to P, which I'm thinking about doing right after this video, so definitely check that out. Stay tuned. If you guys enjoyed this video, as usual, comment, like, and subscribe down below. Be sure you hit the bell notification as well, so that way you don't miss any more videos like this in the near future. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.